I'm your host, Sero. With me today, I have Akamaru, Teji, and Aya Senpai. Everyone, if you want to say hi.
What up?
How's it going, everyone?
So, how's everyone's week going? We got the new expansion with us. We got Starforge Legends. How you guys liking it? Akamaru, take it away. Aka, I believe, is muted.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, unmute yourself there, buddy.
There we go. There we go.
I'm sorry about that. This man was muted, man, again. So I was saying this week I'm sick, so I'm playing a lot less Shadowverse. I'm also went back to work, real work, but from what I played a lot of Haven, trying to make that work. I played a lot of Blood as well. So I'm basically playing everything else besides what people consider to be the top tier decks. So
You're not playing Prime Dragon Keeper? Is what you're trying to say?
I played it when I have quests. I think I played like 7 games of Dragon this meta.
Wow.
That's some dedication to not playing Dragon.
And actually,
Right?
Sword, I only have one win.
That is intense.
So the Fate mission, right? You have to get 5 wins. I only have 1 win for that, and that's because I was testing Barbarossa, so I got 1 win with Sword. Stay away from that.
So Teji, how about you? How's your week going?
Oh man, it's been a good week for Shadowverse. This is gonna be a good expansion. I can feel it, man. I've had a lot of fun. I actually was playing PDK before the expansion started. I believed in that card from the pre-release. I was playing it on Cockatrace, and boy, has it really worked out. So I have been playing PDK, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I've also been playing some Forest. Forest is real good, and some Shadow. You know, mid Shadow is still mid Shadow. Still a good deck.
And Aya Senpai?
I have been having woes. I mean, I can't really blame anyone other than myself. But I think that the game is in a pretty nice spot right now with how it's playing out. I don't like that there's so much sword running around. Rather, I don't like that no one's really doing anything else with sword. But yeah, I just kind of been having my own struggles. Like I try to play decks I want to play, but I can't because sword exists. So that kind of makes me sad. But I'll live.
Sometimes it's just hard to play those janky decks when the
Yeah.
fast beatdown decks are just running rampant, man.
Yup. Very true.
I mean, you know, some extent, some of them are right. They keep us honest, but when it's this much,
Sword is pretty scary right now.
Yeah, you know, when you're like, all right, turn 1 quick blader, okay, next game. You know, because that's what happens. They turn 1 quick blader, they went first. Thanks for playing.
And when you have a slimmer of hope, you're like turn 4, you have 17 HP, and then they get like assembly on 5, and
Yeah, and you're like, well,
you have like half your HP, and then you're like, well, I'm dead to Albert. Even if I prolong the game enough, Albert will always finish me.
right.
I played a mirror, an aggro sword mirror recently. I actually went second, but I got a 1-drop and he didn't, and then I had lethal on 4.
So for those of you who are just sitting there wondering and living under a rock, wondering, what are these cards they're talking about? The new expansion, Starforge Legends, is upon us. It's been upon us for a couple days now, almost a week. So there are a few tournaments coming up that we're going to be talking about. They're going to be premiering the new Shadowverse cards, and it's going to be a blast. So on this Friday, we have the Hallowed Sky tournament. It's going to be on October 6th at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On the day after that, on Saturday, we're going to have the Starforge Legends EU qualifier for NGE. NGE is coming back. And we're going to have NGE on Sunday as well for North America. So I'm sure you guys are all really excited for NGE.
Oh man, well,
Well, I know I am because I get the cast, but I don't.
Well, I know Akka isn't because he's already qualified.
Right.
I'd actually like to ask Gaia, what do you think is going to be different from the qualifiers? Will we see something different, something new, or it's just going to be same as season 2?
That's an interesting question. I think, as far as from administration point, I don't think there's going to be much difference from season 2. But in terms of how people approach the event, I think that'll actually be very different.
What about expectations? How many participants do you think?
Oh man, that's hard to answer.
Yeah.
So one of the problems that exists with something like NGE is that the platform is very intimidating to players. That's actually why, like, for more community events, you get a higher number than you would for, say, NGE. And I know that may sound weird, but that's actually true, that there is a significant difference between them. When you look at NGE, you're like, well, $16,000 prize pool. Oh man, who? You know what I mean? Back away.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. You know, and a lot of the casual players are going to be like, well, I don't know. I don't want to really play that. That's actually something that we came across in, season 2, where a lot of those casual guys weren't really playing a game like that. Or at least they weren't playing it on that level or trying to play it on that. Now that we have more competitive players, but they are still going to be the only people who are going to be playing the game on that level. They're going to play in the NGE. So I'm not entirely sure there's going to be a massive difference between seasons in that regard, between season 2 and season 3. I think it will still be those competitive players who are going to stay true to that. I don't know if there's going to be more people who are more casual players getting in. I just don't know. I don't want to say there won't be. I think there will be some, but I don't really expect the numbers to be any different. Maybe a little higher than season 1, but I just don't see. I'm sorry, season 2, but I just don't see the more competitive players, less competitive players really jumping in like that with it. Unfortunately,
These less competitive players got to just get over their fears and just jump right in it.
it's not so easy though. Like, it's not that easy when you're talking like large chunks of money. Like, it's not really as simple as, oh, you know what, man, I just got to kind of get over it.
It can be intimidating, and especially when you have the option to just watch the event instead of playing in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Three decks is also very intimidating, right?
Yes.
3 competitive.
Yeah.
Because if you have one weak list, you will be preyed upon because it's conquest formats.
Yeah, and some people just don't even have 3 lists.
Exactly.
Right. That's another problem. Like, people have to have at least a decent sized budget, and then by budget I mean like VOW budget, not necessarily money, but they have to commit a lot of time to developing the resource of having a deck of that, like a big deck, and a lot of people aren't really going to have that. They're going to have maybe 2 decks and then one random garbage whatever deck. I
speak of personal experience because my first qualifier I only had 1.5 deck that I was satisfied with, so. So yeah.
But then
Yes, I do know. Over the week, that's why I always say people just keep playing over the weeks, because you can get like top 16, and you start to know a lot more about your own deck, and then you can make changes, and you can actually qualify without having a very competitive.
And hey man, they're giving away like a crazy number of coins or whatever they're called.
Vials.
Vials.
Not vials.
Emblem
I'm talking about for just getting all the classes to level 150.
Oh yeah.
You get like ridiculous number of what is it, gold, or I don't even know what it's called.
It's rupees, I think they call them.
Something that happened to me on the first qualifier. When you play private matches, I actually made that on my first qualifier on NGE. I got like gold by playing like different players.
Oh yeah.
That's funny, dude.
Just go and play.
Well, as a very biased player in the tournament, I gotta say, I'm not upset if the numbers don't go up.
Well, I'm sure you wouldn't.
I want that money, man.
Right, I'm sure you wouldn't be upset about that. Like objectively speaking, I don't really see how you could be.
But no, we want new players.
Yeah, well, we need new players. We need that. if
The show
we're
going.
if we're just content with the player base as it is, it doesn't grow. And if it doesn't grow,
Yep.
then well,
We
we
don't
stay
get more money.
stagnant, and then eventually people
Right.
might lose interest.
exactly. And that's not. Nobody wants that.
Hmm
Nobody wants that.
That's why we gotta play in these Shadowverse tournaments, make Shadowverse amazing, and also gotta play in the Morningstar League Open. That's gonna be on the 8th of October.
Does
That's
this
a
say this
That's
is
a
the
new
start
one,
to the
right?
new Morningstar League, right?
yeah. This is
It's a
gonna
new
be the
one,
third
yeah.
Morningstar League they're having, I believe. This one's for Starforge Legends.
Interesting.
I might try and play that.
Yeah, you gotta start from first, right? This is the
After
first
I flunk out of NA qualifiers.
Nice.
The Morningstar
High
League is
expectations.
the Morningstar League is run by Trials of Faith, and I know, and there's some good people. They're cool guys. Their tournaments are pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're cool peeps. I've worked with them before,
Hmm
and yeah, I don't have any gripes with them. Those guys are
They're
cool
also
with me.
South American, so they have no chances to play on NG.
Oh, you guys missed the Monkey of
There's
the
a
Week
new one,
tournament
though.
tomorrow.
There's also Mexico, right? Mexico is allowed now on NG. I was very happy for that because slowly
Is it?
Dominus may be able to enter on
No,
NG.
he doesn't live in Mexico.
No, I mean slowly, right? Slowly.
Yeah,
We have
maybe-
Mexico,
maybe next time.
Colombia. Yeah.
So we also
Keep
have
fingers crossed.
on the 6th of October, the final tournament we're gonna talk about is gonna be the Slayer Cup.
Mhm.
If you enter that, or it's the prize? It's a Hector emblem. Do you guys know how that works?
I think
You get
it
an
is-
emblem, bro.
You get it. You get the
How do
emblem
you
for
think it
playing in it, or
works?
you have to get a prize. You get it for competing.
I have no idea. Either way, you should play it and find out.
Right?
I
Just do
actually
the tournament.
I've never played on a Slayer tournament, unfortunately, because of time zones. But I wish I
Yeah.
could, because it's a one in a time experience. Because you're playing against Asian players, most of them are Asian.
If you're EST, it's
Very good
pretty
experience.
late. So they start around like midnight or something.
So
But
some
if you're staying to play it, it's worth playing.
some of you might be wondering, why should I play in these tournaments? And I'll tell you guys exactly why. Because Cygames is busting out Vile support once again. They're gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
We've been
Yeah,
waiting.
for real.
We've been waiting quite some time for this, and it's here.
We
Well,
got it. We got Vile support now.
well, for a lot of people, they may not know this, but Vile support actually did exist before.
Hmm
It was back in
Long time ago.
yeah, back in January, beginning. I guess it was there from November of last year to January, and then it got to like end of
Mhm.
March, and then they took it away because one reason or another, and ever since that time, the community have been wanting them and this and another, and then one of the byproducts of that is that the tournaments just kind of fell off to the wayside. Because there was no prizes, and a lot of
Yeah.
people weren't really willing to foot the bill for that because, admittedly, it does get pretty expensive. So, because of that, the Cygames decided, okay, you know what, we're gonna try to get this back as soon as we can, but they kind of kept getting delayed, which was frustrating to say the least. Very frustrating. Like, no matter like how much we were like, hey man, we really want this, we really need this, it was, well, we have this problem and this problem and this problem, and we just weren't getting it. And now we have it, which is great. So the events like the HSK's events, or the events like the ones that I do, or whatever the case may be, these events will have Vile support, which is, or at least have access to Vile support. I can't guarantee all events will have Vile support, but I think that's actually really good to have that. And Cygames is doing, I guess, I think everyone a solid by giving it back. So yeah.
So by playing in these events, you're gonna be able to get a minimum of 1,000 vials and upwards of 10,000 vials, depending on the amount of people entering the tournaments, capping at 128 people in the tournament. The prizes are going to be given out to first, second, and third place.
Mhm.
That's a good amount of vials to be given out. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is.
Even 2,000 vials, like we're talking about a gold or a couple of golds or even a legendary if you combine it with your collection. So 15 people is not that many. You can actually easily win like a cup or like a friendly cup, and you can have access to vials, and that will allow you to build your collection and actually play on NGE with more competitive decks. That is really important. So you can gain experience and vials economy, right? So you can. That's really cool.
You know, I just gotta. First, I want to preface this by saying that I'm very grateful that they put vial support in, but I do gotta say, you get like 30,000 vials from NGE, and that was like a 40-person tournament last season. So I don't know, man.
That was a bit more of a prestigious tournament. With
Decks
Well,
are,
see,
decks are,
you have
decks
to-
are, the problem is decks are getting more expensive. They're not getting any cheaper. I mean, they're
Okay.
putting more and more good legendaries.
All right, so let me address that. I think it's a little unfair to expect that community events would be on the same level as NGE. I think that's actually
No,
absurd.
you're right.
And I understand your point, but I think it's a little absurd to think that the community events should be on that same level.
There's also a lot of them, right? There's like 10 or 15 events every week, every month. So
Well,
Right.
giving
I
out
mean,
a lot of
there
vials.
haven't been.
NG is
Maybe
only
there
like
will be
3
now.
times.
Well, there may
Maybe,
be.
Maybe.
There may be. See, the thing is, you got to consider that, okay, with NGE providing vials, now there are going to be other community events that are also providing vials. So you're going to have more events to be able to play in than NGE, because once the 3-week qualifier is over, you're not getting vials playing in the round robin. So, like, decks are getting more expensive, but that's also where more tournaments come into play. More tournaments, people can start getting more stuff for that very reason.
If we get more community tournaments, I will be happy, no question.
With this vial support, now the average person can just go out and make a tournament, and they'll be able to give out prizes, even if they didn't have anything to put up. And that's just going to be great for the average person. The person listening to this right now could go out and make a tournament tomorrow, and they'll have prize support, and that's amazing.
Well, that's not exactly how it works.
Not exactly how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
I would also not recommend that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either because it's easy
a lot of
to
work
in that regard. So yeah, that's definitely not how it works. The way it does work, however, is that after you've demonstrated that you are consistent with running events, then the option of gaining vial support will be available to you, which I think is the way it should be done.
Yeah.
I don't think that it should be just available to anyone. That doesn't really make a lot of sense for side games to be like, well, you know what? We're just gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink into this. You guys can just take advantage of our system and make us incredibly busy, and whatever. Sorry, I don't think that's a good idea.
Human beings will always try to. So if that happened, people would be making like tournaments with people between their friends, and they'll be like, "Oh, let's get vials."
Man, I got some free vials. And they're putting up tournaments every day.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Put up tournaments every day. That'd be crazy, man.
Oh my god.
Just with a group of friends.
Those would be some low effort tournaments.
Right.
I gotta real quick. I gotta show my boy Azure here. He's hosting a tournament tomorrow at I think 8 p.m. EST. We didn't put that in here, but I want to get that out there. That's also open. They might be getting mouse support in the future too, so stay updated on their tournaments. Definitely check that out. And
Display as well. Display is also.
Oh yeah, it's co-hosted by Disaster and Misplay. Who is Team Misplay? This is the first time I've heard of them.
So I have...
Team it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say their team that kind of came on. I guess it's been like a month and a half now. I don't really know much about their roster because, well, they're not very active right now, or at least not in my opinion, they're not active. Yeah. But that's not a knock on them. It's just they haven't really stepped out yet. I think that'll change, of course. That they'll step out and do some stuff But I mean, just like most teams that kind of start up, they just haven't really done anything yet. And I think at some point that'll change, of course, because it did for everyone else.
So I have a question for Big Tony Boom Dude, Lieutenant Captain America, Big Bad Wolf, Mob Boss, Aya Senpai.
Yes.
I wanted to know what your favorite card in the new expansion is.
Oh man,
Ooh,
my favorite
that's
card
hard.
in the new expansion. Well, it's a card that unfortunately just good. And it's Medusa. I love Medusa in this. I love
Venom
that card.
Medusa.
Yeah, Venom Fang Medusa. I love that
Oh,
card.
Let me
yeah.
guess. You're a fan of Flame and Glass.
Oh no, I'm not actually.
Oh.
But I am not a fan of Flame Glass.
How many times have you gotten Medusa to proc?
0 times.
0 times.
0 times.
And I'm
Yeah,
assuming
0
you've been
times.
playing Medusa quite a bit.
Yes, a lot. I have not gotten it to go off once. Well, because every time it's either I'm fighting PDK or I'm fighting Sword. I don't.
It
it's
just doesn't go off.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. I'm not saying that it can't. I just haven't gotten it to.
I've seen like a couple screenshots of it happening, but I think they were rigged.
So her effect is basically just flavor text.
Right.
Pretty
It's
much.
just okay. Add a thing and play. Great. Got it. You know.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils down to.
It's kind of disappointing. I mean, it's kind of like there were a couple effects like that this expansion that I think they could have done some more interesting things with. There's that one, then there's the Perseus one. I mean, the Perseus one's like a little bit relevant sometimes, but there's a lot of these little kind of weird like effects that are proc in weird situations.
Especially
Right.
because you have to spend resources, right? You have to get a team, a design team, and they're like, oh, let's make a cool effect. So spend hours, right? And they spend testing, and then it's almost for nothing because you never. see
Yeah, it never
results.
goes off.
Yeah,
That's just unfortunate.
It's a wasted effort and resources a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of what bugs me, is that there's so many, I think, really cool cards that will just never see the light of day, because well, everything's just faster than those cards. You know, it's just okay. Well, there's Sword.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I don't really mean to sound like I'm complaining about Sword, even though I am, but it's only because like I just can't play what I want to play. I don't like I can't play Control Blood. Control Blood gets annihilated, and that really bothers me because I'm a huge fan of Control Blood.
Control
I
Blood's really fun
hate
deck.
that. Yeah, and I can't play it because Sword has Storm every turn.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, that was fun. Game
Does it
over.
really get blown out? I feel like they have tech options for that. I don't know. I'd have to test it.
It
later, but
has.
I'll take
It
your word
has.
for it.
The thing is, it has tech options, but they feel worthless.
I would
Like-
think Vampiricus is really helpful in that.
It's helpful a bit.
I would play Spiderweb Imp over Vampiricus.
Why not both? Just go really
Okay.
degenerate.
Spiderweb Imp, Fang Serpent, Righteous.
I run
Devil.
Fang
Oh,
Serpent.
Fang
I run.
Serpent's so good.
That's,
I say I'm running like
Yeah.
Unicas. I'm running
Yeah.
Fang Serpent and this and that. And I just,
yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
it just
because-
feels.
That happens. You're right.
So-
No.
That's what happens to me. I played Avon a lot, and I'm like, well, I'm able to survive until turn 10. But it's
Mhm.
like inevitability, right? Because you're not ending the game. So
Right,
they will
you're just
eventually-
trying to survive. Right.
Yeah, they will eventually like,
Yeah.
and then get all finish the game. And so that's why I actually added Temple Ogre to my Avon list, because people were like, oh, Ancient Lion clears the board. But the problem with clearing the board is that, again, you're not pushing. Takes
Right.
damage. So when you evolve Temple Ogre, you can attack twice on the next turn. So you can actually do 8 damage with that card next turn.
Mhm.
So that's why I really like that card. At the moment, I'm trying it out. And it's putting a lot of work against those aggro matchups, much more than Ancient
And
Lion.
what numbers are you running it?
2, because I have either wing. So
Ah,
my
got
plan
it.
is to pull it from either wing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just testing it out so far. Yeah.
You were talking about this Temple Ogre earlier, and I asked you what it does, and I still don't have any idea.
It's a 4/3, so 5
Oh.
flame point follower. It's a 4/3. When you
That is a lot
evolve
of
it,
text.
you can attack twice. It also has rush. No, it doesn't. So
No, it
when you
didn't have
evolve
rush.
No, no, it
When you
doesn't.
evolve it, it can attack twice, and it doesn't gain stats. So it's a 4/3, the same. It stays the
And-
same. And then
that-
when you attack, it gains +1 health.
And that thing's been
Right.
working for you?
Yeah, against the aggro matchup. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying it's been working, but I think it's better than Nation.
It's pretty interesting.
Because he
That is
kills 2
interesting.
bodies, right? And then you can deal 8 damage the next turn. And aggro has no way to kill it because... Oh, I forgot the other effect. If it is dealt 2 damage or less, it takes no damage. So
Yeah, that's actually very relevant.
If it
Yeah.
takes less than 2
Yeah,
damage,
this thing's just casually got like
2
3
or
separate
less.
effects.
Yes. It's an interesting card. I wouldn't say it's good because I haven't played enough with it, but it's I think it's a lot better than Lion and Cleric Lancer. I tested the 3 of them because I really like either wing.
I remember
so
reading that card and thinking it looked pretty unimpressive. But
no, it does. It actually made me play it when I lost to it because he evolved it. I was playing Blood and I only had Sabrur to kill it, and then my Sabrur damage didn't kill it. And then when I evolved my Sabrur and traded into it, I lost so much tempo from that because I didn't get the effect from Sabrur and I still had to trade into it.
yeah,
It's just Black Inscription my Sabrur, so and he cleared my board the previous turn. So it's really interesting. It's a really interesting card.
wow.
And it was because I had Sabrur. If I didn't have Sabrur, that would be even worse. Compared to Lion, I mean, I'm not saying it's tea time is a lot better than Temple. You don't always get tea time, so.
So what you're trying
That's
to
true.
tell me is Temple Ogre is your favorite card in the expansion.
He's I'm not going that far.
My favorite card is actually either wing. That's why I'm going as far as play Temple because I really like that card.
I think that card is really cool.
It is.
What's your favorite card, sir?
My
Time to
favorite
put you on the
card.
spot.
My favorite card is hands down, without a doubt.
Oh
Star
yeah, I already
Phoenix.
know it. Yeah.
We
Star
also-
Phoenix, you've been going off about this card for days. You won't shut up about it.
I have been
He
going
really
off.
has.
It has been many
Some
people
might say
would.
going off the deep end.
There might be some people who would call what I've been doing obnoxious, and I wouldn't be able to say those people are wrong. You know, I think Star Phoenix is a really cool card.
We know, we get it.
It's just some good fun. It comes down. It's got rush. You know,
Mhm.
I kind of like
That's a
perch up
cool
on my
card.
chair when I play it, and I just screech whenever I do it.
Why can I picture that? Why can I picture that perfect?
It's it's just I just do what comes naturally to me. You know.
Right.
You do. It's all he's ever done. Ladies and gentlemen, our glorious leader. The man, the myth, and the
What's
legend.
your favorite card? Is it Prime Dragon Keeper?
Hey, man, don't spoil it. Alright, he's ruined the segment, man. Alright, my favorite card is indeed Prime Dragon Keeper. Now, I was with this card from day one, from before day one, actually. We set up that cockatrice thing to test cards, and that was one of the decks that I just grinded. And I was like, at first I was playing this garbage version of it that was like trying to be aggro, and it just was like only okay, and I was so upset. And then the expansion came out, and all those like good Asian players that are way better than me made it like a good deck. And I was so happy. I was ecstatic. I was like, this is exactly what I needed from this expansion. I needed this card to be good. So what I did was I immediately went and I took 30,000 vials that I had from crafting, from opening so many packs, and I animated a Prime Dragon Keeper. Just straight up. Right?
I think
then-
that's a wise investment, actually.
And then no, it was, because then hear me out. Then I think Cygames like heard my prayers, and then in the next like 10 or 20 packs I opened, I pulled a second animated copy. So I think they're telling me something.
I think they're
Yeah,
telling you to
what-
spend some more vials and get a third animated.
I think
Prime
I need
Dragon
to do
Keeper.
that. I need to vial some stuff and build a third one. Anyways.
Mr. Resident Dragon player over here, with all of the shiny
That's
dragon
me.
cards.
That's me.
So
Oh my goodness.
let's talk about some of the decks right now. Let's talk about some of the things in the meta. We've been talking about Sword. We've been talking about Prime Dragon Keeper. We haven't been talking about Forest, and I think those are like the 3 most prominent decks right now. What do you guys think?
What are we talking
Actually,
about? You think Dragon
the
Forest
first
something?
days, Forest was everywhere, and on the last 2 days, they have
No
been
way.
scars.
You haven't been seeing the
For
Forest
me-
much
for
past
me
couple
at
days?
least.
No,
Yeah, for me,
not at
they
all.
have been scars. For me.
Yeah, I haven't
But
seen
I'm
Dragon
on
and
the low.
Sword.
I have like less than 1,000 points, so I'm like low master. So
Now, what I gotta say though is that people, I just want to throw this out there. I think we all need to calm down about what decks may or may not be OP right now. Now, I definitely think they should nerf sword because I don't play it, right? um, but I also think that whenever there's new archetypes, people love playing new archetypes. So I think that side games frequently. I know side games is not dumb. I know that they're not going to do this, but this is more for the people who are saying like, oh well, these things are going in these usage rates, so these should be nerfed. People want to play new stuff, right? There's a reason people are playing Dragon and Sword on the ladder a lot because Dragon they get to play the cool new waifu, and Sword they get to be degenerates. And what things does Shadowverse players love more than those two things?
No, not much.
You can't answer. There's nothing.
We like chimping out.
We like chimping out, and we like waifus. I mean, what else is there?
There's going face, but that's about the same thing.
Yeah,
I gotta admit,
both of those decks have that in spades.
I'm opposite to Aya, as I hate those decks because it doesn't get to play with his new toys. I actually enjoy because I get to prey on those decks. It's so satisfying.
Oh wait,
to
hold
actually
up.
beat aggro sword.
Wait, hold up.
I see. I'm doing it right now.
All right, you're back in, Aya. My bad. I don't know how you got out.
Actually, it was my bad.
You escaped the correctional facility.
So I was saying,
Get
I
back in
actually
here.
enjoy playing against those decks, even though I lose a lot. But getting that one win, it feels so satisfying. Like going second as even beating aggro sword when they don't top deck armor, it just feels so good. I just want to emote them. And like, that's what you get for playing aggro sword.
I want to say actually that I think every class. I actually have done relatively little testing with Blood, Haven, and Rune. The other 4 classes I know all have strong archetypes. I think Blood is. I don't know how Blood is right now. I'm not gonna lie, but
I don't either. That's what, I keep trying Blood, and I just kind of be like, what can this class do?
I want to try some weird tempo storm shenanigans, and I think there's potential for that in Haven. And then Rune, I think Rune just still has good stuff. I mean, I don't know how Dirt Rune stacks up right now. I don't know what's the best build for it, but there's got to be something there. They have so many toys right now.
Just to backtrack about Blood, like I'm a simple man. Even I'm not crazy enough to be trying out my soul dealers right now.
No, you're not.
Why in the world would you even consider using Soul Dealer?
For the first day, I was playing a little bit of Soul Dealer, but it's too dangerous right now. There are too many Juliets. There's too many Juliets to be just like turn 4 setting myself to 2 HP. I can't justify
be doing that. You just can't be doing that.
But Sero, why do you want to set yourself to 2 HP? Because it's a fun game plan.
No, but here's the thing though, is that the more they hurt you before turn 4, the less Soul Dealer deals to you.
But the thing is,
So
Soul
really,
Dealer
I think Soul Dealer gets better in an aggro meta.
No, you see, your argument makes sense.
Try to argue against that.
Your numbers make sense, but I will tell you, when you're at 12 HP and you have the option to set yourself to 6 with a Soul Dealer, you don't really want to do it, man. You don't really want to do it.
Maybe you don't want to do it because you're weak, but
I think
I know I am. I'm not doing that. Call me a coward. I'm trying to live.
I've been saying this for 3 expansions. They needed to make Soul Dealer a 4/6.
They need to make
Would that have been busted? Probably.
That would be broken, but what they need to make Soul Dealer do is the second one gains you all the HP you lost from the first Soul Dealer.
Wow, that's amazing.
That would be an interesting card. I don't even know. It just needs to like be a 4/6, and then it'd be a good card, man.
They just need to give Blood more healing, man. Then it'll be a good card.
Think about how hard it is to kill like a freaking Evo 4/6.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's so much HP.
Just give
It's
Blood
a little
to
beefy.
Reno Jackson. Just give Reno Jackson to Blood.
A little beefy. That's a lot of beefy, bro.
That's a lot of beef.
That's a turn 4. That's a 6/8 on turn 4. That's with
something.
Ward.
That's something.
Dangerous.
That's ridiculous.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
To call what is the closest thing we have to that is Goblin Mount Demon.
Right.
And that comes down a turn later and has less attack. That is dangerous.
Now, Akka, you were trying some neutral blood, weren't you?
Yeah. I played a lot of
neutral's like the trigger word these days, but
yeah. I played Jormungand. I played that a lot. I actually climbed with Jormungand, but then it was not fun because it doesn't beat Sword, and I'm only beating Sword. So I actually beat Dragon a lot with Jormungand because Dragon doesn't have a good way to deal with the 5/5 on 6 to have the Scyther on 7.
Sybil.
But but
What were you saying?
no, but if they do that, Sybil will be low HP, and then you can just use single effect or whatever. But so they have Scyther on 7, but if they kill it, they're actually activating your game plan. And I was playing different than I was playing a more patrolish Jormungand list. I'm playing like the Vengeance full curve aggressive list with the Angelic Knights to buff my Uriah.
I just feel like go on.
So to end, basically, I wanted to play my Jormungand on curve with being ahead on board. And when I got Jormungand, I would snowball the game out of control. But the problem is when I didn't draw Jormungand, I just couldn't finish the game because I didn't have access to Emeraldus or Air Gems because I was running the Jormungand package.
Imagine if Baphomet was able to pull your Jormungands.
Yeah.
Boy.
Rest in peace, Baphomet.
That would be Spawn again.
That's still one of the changes that I really didn't like.
That one was interesting. Like, I get where they were coming from with it, but
yeah.
Oh, and just to finish your question about Neutral Blood, it's basically the same list. Neutral was always good against aggro decks, so I'm actually being able to beat Sword with that. And I just gotta tell you, Quillin, the new neutral card, that is a good card.
Is that the 0/5 with Ward?
Should I try that?
0/5.
But should I try that over Hector? Because Hector's a good card.
I run both actually. I run 3 Hectors and 1 or 2 Quillins. Yeah.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, because the meta is
so
in
small. That list, yeah.
Yeah, the meta is so small that Groove isn't getting much value when you use it.
That's true.
So I'm just using Quillin, which is almost the same. It kills something, it doesn't take damage. And then actually against Haven, I dealt 10 damage because they didn't have Tribunal. They didn't have a way to kill the Quillin. So I traded, and then he attacked for 4 and then for 6. That's fun.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't have a way to kill it because it has so much health, right?
How much does it have? Like 7 or 8?
7. When you evolve it, I think it's 7. When you
7, yeah. Good card.
So Akka, have you been embraced by the flames of Star Phoenix yet?
No, I haven't tried Star Phoenix yet.
You haven't tried Star Phoenix yet?
I dusted my Alice, and now I don't want to craft it. I'm actually not running Alice.
That's so funny. You know that they only cost as much as you dusted them for, right?
Yeah, but I spend them on my Jormungand.
Oh my god. You know, alright, I just want to say one thing about Blood is I looked at Blood's new toys and I saw Fenrir, and I was testing against Fenrir on Cockatrice pre-release. How could there not be like Fenrir seems like such a good card. How could there not be a deck with Fenrir in it that's good?
What does
like,
Fenrir do again?
That disappoints me too. I love that card.
How could that card not be good? Like
Fenrir is like 6 play points, 4/6 rush, right?
That value is unreasonable.
When it kills something and it survives, it deals 2 damage to a random.
Casually deals 2 damage.
But that's so slow though. Like that doesn't go face.
That's the problem.
Blood likes to go face.
Nah, Control Blood doesn't like to go face.
Yeah.
But why would you want to play that instead of like a Scarlet though?
Now you play both.
Oh, it's a 6 play.
You play instead of like a Blood Hungry or something.
Somebody in chat is asking us about Jormungand. Is it worth pulling it with the Zodiac Demon? How has your success with Zodiac
No,
Demon
it's
been?
too slow. Like
only the second Jormungand. The first one, yeah, you can play the first one. And the second one is too slow. So actually, Zodiac Demon proc to get 2 effect stat. But other than that, it's too slow.
I'm a little
Zodiac
disappointed.
Demon performing as underwhelmingly as I predicted on the Hollowed Sky card review.
I'm a little disappointed Zodiac Demon is just actually doing nothing.
Yeah, that's
it's the title card of the set.
Yeah.
And it does 0.
Because games aren't making it to turn 7 like that.
There are still a lot of deck archetypes that I'm looking to test that I've just not tested. And I expect to be very disappointed in most of them. But I think there might still be a few gems left that people haven't found.
Absolutely.
I think Stormhaven might have something going on with it. With
That's what I'm testing next.
with
I
with
said that
Aether,
earlier.
Aether being able to pull your Moon Owl Mirages, and you get to play a 1 of Aegis, and you're playing 4 Aegises, unlike back when you used to play 3 Aegises and you only had 3 Aegises.
And like Temple Ogre and like some, I don't know, Taurus the Great. Those cards gotta be okay.
Actually,
Pulling a
Temple-
Tauros the Great off of Aether is
It's kinda
dangerous.
scary, yeah.
I've done that quite a few times.
'Cause
That's
Temple
cool.
Ogre-
That sounds pretty sweet, man.
Taurus
It
is like
it
running a
nice.
1 of Gilgamesh, except it's a better card than Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't mind that.
No, it's dangerous, man. It pushes face
Temple
damage.
Haven used to run Gilgamesh on Darkness Evolved.
I don't think Joe Records.
They would run like 1 or 2 Gilgameshes. I actually, because it's either that or Urd. They run Urd with their birds to finish the game. Or I even saw what's the name of is it Gabriel, the angel, the pups? I saw Haven using that Gabriel.
That's
'Cause
odd.
there wasn't
Gabriel.
any
That is
boss
that's like a 7 mana 4 damage storm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to run
There was
that.
nothing else back in the day. They top end.
Are you talking about way back in the day? Dude, way
Yeah,
back in the
Darkness-
day, Mid-Sword ran
Darkness-
frickin' Gabriel, man.
Yeah.
Because you had Otohime, and they
Yeah,
just couldn't
it
clear them
did.
all.
There's
It
nothing
did.
else. You didn't have any top end back in the day, so
Yeah, but now we have good cards.
now
You
we have
don't
Albert.
Right.
Now we have Albert.
So with all the decks you guys have seen since the expansions come out, which is the one you're most excited to see become good? If you don't think it's that good right now, or if there hasn't been enough time to figure it out.
I just want Control Blood, man. That's it for me. I
know,
always
I-
want to be able to play Control Blood.
I will be testing Control Blood for you this week.
Well, I
promise.
appreciate that,
I
man.
promise.
Control
I
Blood
always
is-
want Control Blood to be good.
that-
I'll find something that works. I know it's out there. I
Um,
promise you it's out there.
Have you guys seen any of those Atomi lists running around?
Oh my, I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh my god,
let
I'm
me
not
just go on
I'm
like
not
a
sure if it's
2-second
good,
rant.
but oh man, am I excited if it is.
Let me just go on like a 2-second rant right here. I think Staircase to Paradise is broken.
Yeah, that card's
I've-
ridiculous.
I've been ranting about this all day, and some people just want me to shut up by now. Most people, but I think that card's too good. There's no reason that card should draw you 3 cards.
That
3
card's
follows.
really
3
good.
like
I
It's
just have one
really
thing.
good.
yeah.
Thank God my sword opponents are not running Staircase to Paradise, because I would not be able to win a single game again if they were running that. Not a single game.
The cards it's just actually crazy. Like
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be able to outvalue them, because they never run out of gas.
you just slap that in every mid-range deck.
That
Yeah,
card-
jam 1 or 2 of it and just be
Yeah.
like, set it and forget it, man.
That's the thing. You could just run 1. It's still
Yeah.
good. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
matter.
still good,
yeah.
Sometimes you get it and it's always good.
Yeah.
Because it's 1 mana. It's not like something. It's not like something where it's like an integral part of your deck. So you either have to run 3 or 0. You know.
Yeah, there's nothing that synergizes with it
It's
specifically.
like, oh, I got
Just like
38
card.
cards in this deck. All right, slap 2 of them in there. Oh, I got 39 cards. All right, slap 1 of them in there.
Yeah, that card's really good.
It'll
I
win me some
mean,
games.
I hesitate to use Broken. I try not to use
Yeah,
that term.
nah, alright,
but it's
but-
like,
Too
it's
early.
really good.
You look at that card and then you look at Sacred Plea, and then
Yes.
like we've been playing Sacred Plea for quite some time now.
Yeah,
This card
right.
doesn't draw you the cards immediately; it draws you them next turn. But it draws you an extra card, and you could also just, if you draw it after turn 5, you can just play it and draw the cards pretty quickly. Sacred
Mhm.
Plea, you had to wait.
Like,
Yeah.
what's fun is that, can you imagine a world where Aven doesn't play Sacredly? Because I actually played against Tempo Aven, which was not using Sacredly. They were using Staircase to Paradise, because that deck is low on followers. And they would
Right.
get the Garudas. I was so scared of Staircase to Paradise every single turn, because they can get their Garudas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's actually good. I'm putting that in my Tempo Storm deck when I build it.
It's and then there's the Holy Mage. That's also good.
Holy moly.
We saw
That's
that
a good card.
on the Shadow Nexus release, man. Holy Mage, that was a
Yeah.
fun card to see coming back. That was kind of fun.
So have you guys
Throwback.
been playing much Forest? I've been really enjoying Tempo Forest.
I have not touched Forest because I hate the class.
How could
actually-
you say that?
Okay, I don't hate Forest. I have a very strong dislike for Forest. A very strong dislike.
I will say, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I've been playing Neutral Forest, and it's really good.
Well, I wouldn't
We
expect
all-
that to stop being good.
We always like.
You drop Kindly Tran on turn 3, and Aggro Sword concedes on the spot. That's happened to me 3 games.
That's pretty crazy.
Playing with Neutral
Yeah.
Forest for like even before Wonderland, we were playing that kind of forest.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
just that way. I don't
They
know.
look at their hand, they look at the board, and they're like, that's a
So
3/4 with Ward.
Because when that deck actually curves, I don't think you can lose. It's so insane. It's so insanely good.
Yep.
I'm a little disappointed that. I was gonna say like I feel like Forest didn't change all too much, but at the same time, Forest.
Of course it didn't.
Forest
Roach
cards-
is still the primary win condition of
But
it. Of course
Forest
it-
has the Forest
Roach.
decks. The Forest decks are playing like 12 new cards in the new
Elephant.
expansion now, so they're playing so many new cards, but they're still just playing regular OTK Roach. I feel like that's still just the best way to build Roach, and it's gonna stay that way.
I
Because
spent a good amount of my
because the meta
time.
is too fast. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I love Venus. It's my favorite card of the set. I think it's so powerful. But the
Mhm.
thing is, I can't play Venus on 5 and then Harvest Festival on 6 with Tia because I'm probably dead by then.
Why
It's-
would you
it's-
play Venus when you could just play Fina and get and like accelerate
Oh,
your win condition by 3.5
That's what
turns?
I'm trying. No, that is what I'm trying. That is what I'm trying to say. Is that that's why people are still playing OTK Roach because the meta is so fast that.
I think
OTK
it says
Roach-
something about the balance condition of Forest that a card like Venus isn't good.
Yeah,
Mm,
I think that says a lot.
I think that says a lot about how Roach needs to be nerfed. Wait, did I say that?
I think
Just- The problem with Forest is that they're so understated. Unless you go like pure aggro and get the Elf Song curve, like if you want to build mid-range sword Venus, the followers are so weak. They're like 1/1 fairies, 2/1s. There's a 2 play point 1/1 follower. Like, it's so weakly statted. You can't really do anything about it. Like Fire Lizard destroys you completely.
Fire Lizard
destroys
is
you
like
completely.
that card
Just-
is just like it's. I see that card and I'm playing Forest and it just triggers my PSTD.
PTSD.
Wow, you're so messed up. You can't even say it right.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like it's messed me up,
Oh,
man. I wake up, I turn on my Shadowverse, I hear like the sound effect of the Fire Lizard screeching, I see the gunshots, I see the fire, I see all my favorite
Oh my
fairies dying.
goodness.
Wow.
Like it all gets played in black and white in slow motion, you know. It's scary.
Yeah, and it's like
As the fairy just gets burnt to a crisp.
Dude,
the
it
reason
just-
why Prime Dragon Keeper is so good is that Dragon always had really strong. Dragon was probably the best class to play against aggro. The thing is that now the Fire Lizards, which are insanely good on the early game, can actually be used on the slower matchups to do 1 damage phase or 2 damage AoE. So you can actually save the Fire Lizards to just do 1 ping damage on the late game. That's
Not
why
to mention you have
Prime
Matilda
Dragon
now.
Keeper is so good because of that. Yeah.
So
She can run 6 Fire Lizards.
for the
Yeah.
people who've been living under a rock and aren't sure what Prime Dragon Keeper is, what it probably I don't want to say the face of the set because that was supposed to be Zodiac Demon, but I want to say Prime Dragon
It's the
Keeper
face of the
is the
set?
face of the set.
So it is what we call on card games meta defining.
Yes.
She's defining the meta at the moment.
Yeah.
You don't see mid range decks because Prime Dragon Keeper just destroys every board state on turn
Yep.
7.
I want to say that I gotta give props to the Side Games design team for this one. Regardless of what you think about the balance state of the card, I think that this is such a cool card design wise. Like
It's
Oh,
so
I
much
agree.
fun.
it pushed Dragon into just like a new direction for how they ramp, and like
Yeah,
it kept their core mechanic, which is ramp, and it
Yeah.
pushed them into a totally new game plan.
They
So-
did something I thought I was never gonna do. I thought I was never gonna leave the package, and I actually
Mhm.
did. So, props to you, Sagan.
So
One
Now,
let's
thing
whether
I
or not
will
you think
say-
it's broken is another matter, but
I will
I
say
don't
this.
think it is.
I think that Prime Dragon Keeper should never be touched.
Yeah.
I don't think that
yeah,
card should
honestly,
ever
I
get.
agree with you. I agree with you.
It is exactly the type of card that Shadowverse needs, and that
Oh, yeah.
is cards that revolve around a specific synergy.
yeah.
Okay,
The
I know
suspect
me and
connection
EXO
is
talked about that a lot,
beautiful.
but it's still factual that the synergy of this set, the way that things are working, and Prime Dragon Keeper is a very good embodiment of that.
Prime
I
Dragon
don't think that
Keeper
should ever change.
just- it just oozes with just synergy. So
Honestly,
for the people who don't know what Prime Dragon Keeper is, it's a 3 mana 1/5, and when you're in overflow, it can't be attacked, and it also deals 2 damage to a random enemy follower and 1 damage to face every time a 3 cost or less Dragon Keeper comes into play.
Dragon follower.
Dragon Follower, but yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, I mean, I've talked to some people. I don't think the community has really gotten to like the ragey, we need to nerf this now point yet, and I hope that we don't, because you know I always hate that part.
I think people are just having too much fun with it right now.
Absolutely, and I hope that continues. But I think that some of the cards that are, in my opinion, candidates for balance changes. And this doesn't mean I think they're necessarily broken, but I think, you know, if they decide the deck is strong, I think the 3 main cards, in my opinion, are Sybil, Dragoon Scyther, and Staircase.
You think Dragoon Scyther is something that might need to get
Nah, I
in there?
wouldn't touch Dragoon Scyther.
You don't
Dragoon
think so?
Scyther seems so fine to me.
Dragoon Scyther is a strong card.
Yeah, but I don't see a reason to touch that ever.
That's like saying you got to nerf Star Phoenix, you know?
It's not the same thing at all.
Look, man, Dragoon Scyther is a novice trooper with Bane.
Like, if you want to make your game interesting, my favorite thing to do in card games is actually to build a deck around a specific card. If you want to make your game interesting, you want to have your Neftis, you want to have your either White Wings, you want to have your Prime Dragon Keepers. That is so fun. This expansion has been a blast to me. I have enjoyed every single game. I built a new deck every day because I have so many new toys. I have Loki, I have Chimera, I've tried them all, trust me. I have Elephant. So these types of cards are so unique, so specific that you build a deck around it, and when you get that win, you feel so
Chimera is awesome.
It is a pretty sweet card.
That card, I pray I lose to it. I pray that they
I
have
don't know about that.
I
never pray to lose to my opponent, but
I have never lost to a Chimera and not been happy about it. That's all I can say. As
Every
you've been
time
saying,
I
Chimera.
very interesting fetishes there, buddy.
Every time I play against what looks like D-Shift, I just hope it's Chimera.
right.
Because
Then
because
again,
it gives
like,
me a better
when they
chance
play-
to win, but B,
So when they play D-Shift
if I
on
lose, that's
7,
cool.
I am so scared because now they don't even need to play Flame Destroyers, right? If they have Chimera on the opening end, if they D-shift on 7 and D-shift on 8, and I see no followers, I'm wait, what happened? Oh, whoops. So scary. You're always, so when you play against D-shift, you're always thinking, oh, I'm so scared if he has D-shift. Now it's like, I'm so scared if he gets to turn 9, because they can actually win without D-shift. I've seen that I lost to D-shift without D-shift. And
I have not lost the
D-shift.
card yet.
So,
It hasn't happened to me yet. I wish
You haven't
it
lost
had.
to Chimera yet?
No.
It
Wow,
feels
you're
good.
a lucky person.
It feels good.
Hey, I just played
It
next to
really
D-Shift.
doesn't, though.
The animation, it just looks nice. It machine guns down everything you have, and it immediately sets you to 0. That is what I want to see. That is how I want to lose. It's losing with a
It's like
bang.
And you
nuclear
have some
rain
very interesting taste there, buddy.
coming.
Dude, the guy just played a giant Chimera, absolutely destroyed everything I had, and said I win. Next question. You know, he didn't stall it out. He didn't play a 7/7, pass the turn to himself again, go face with 7 damage, pass the turn to himself again. You know, he just slammed it on the table and said, "You're dead. Get out of here."
This is my win.
Boys just played Exodia and left.
You will never understand how weak you are compared to me and my Chimera. So we've been talking a good amount about Shadowverse. I want to talk about one more thing before we head off, because we've been going for quite some time now. Aya has a little game, and I wanted to hear a little bit about that.
Sure. What do you want to know?
I want to
Oh,
know.
I want to know
everything about
everything
it.
because I don't know much. I saw that you had it, and I have not checked it out yet. Like I've not checked out the deets yet.
All right. Well,
Why don't you give us the rundown?
What's it called first and foremost?
it's called Chronatus Card Fighting System. The entire. So let me break down the name so that it makes some sense.
All right.
The name chrono, of course, being a time-related word,
Mm-hmm.
and tis meaning like, tis the season, meaning it is. So it breaks down to it is time for fighting because it's a fighting system. So that's how the name breaks down.
Okay.
So a few things about the game is that, one, if you've ever played a fighting game, you'll probably feel right at home because the game is very centered around the concepts of things you see in fighting games. So,
But it's not a fighting game, right? It's a card game.
it's a card game. Yeah, when I say that, I mean the methodology or the design of the game is centered around that of fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in a fighting game, you have someone who does a wake up Shoryuken. That kind of happens in my game, that type of stuff.
All right.
And the way the game is played out is that it's played on a 7-space grid, and basically you're fighting to take advantage of the amount of seconds that's available to both players. So both players have 7 seconds to basically do as much damage to their opponent as possible.
That's cool.
And that's 7 seconds within the grid, not total. Because I get that a lot. People are like, man, I don't have 7 seconons.
7 seconds. Yeah, what?
How do I
Right.
make that decision? How do I play control?
Right.
So what are seconds in your game? Since it's not actually
Okay. So in my game, it's literally split into the grid. Each space on the grid is 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no cost system in the sense that you are doing things like paying play points or mana or anything like that. The cost system is literally time. So the statement "time is money" is literally applicable to this game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so like I said, it's very applicable to this game. So the entire premise of the game, of course, is just to beat the opponent. But every character, there are characters like with alternate win conditions. So let's take an example of in Shadowverse, you have Seraph as an alternate win con. Okay, you do it, whatever, you win, right? Well, there are characters that can, say, run out time. So basically reduce the amount of seconds that are on the grid, and then when all the seconds are over, they win the game. There are characters that can win by giving the opponent too much venom. There are ways that people can win the game by doing puzzles. There's like little puzzles in the game. People have to figure certain things out. Actually, that was one of the harder things to balance. But
That,
it was
that
cool.
sounds difficult to just work mechanically.
That is
Yeah,
That,
it
that is what I'm gonna if I'm able to pick that up. I actually joined the playtesting. I just didn't have time yet on the time zones we have for the playtesting.
right.
But that is what I want to do. I want to make. I love puzzle games. I want to do puzzle. So
Yeah, that's actually one of the things. I'm a huge fan of puzzle games. I absolutely love, and I mean love,
yeah, same.
Tetris. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I love Tetris.
Tetris
There's
is a lot of
some
fun.
humane condition, right, of filling blank spaces. I don't know how to explain it. So satisfying to
yeah.
pile them up to get like all clean.
And then when you get that 4-piece that just gets the
Yeah.
entire all 4 rows, oh, that feels so good.
But
Yeah.
man, I play Puzzle and Dragons. That's my puzzle game.
Yeah, so the way that the game plays out is actually we were playing it. Me and Exo were playing it earlier with some people who were part of the playtesting thing from earlier. It literally is I attack you, you decide if you're gonna block. That's literally the way it breaks down. And then you have a bunch of other defensive options. Like you can block and then counter someone. So like say someone throws a punch, you block it and then you punch back. You can do that. You can just straight, someone can go, I'm going to punch you. You could be like, no, actually, I'm going to just beat you to the punch. So I'm not even going to bother blocking. I'm just going to punch you in the face instead.
Like the input is faster on the
Right,
fighting game.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you did in a fighting game, it's like you did a 6-frame
Your
move and I did a
move
4-frame
takes-
move
yeah,
and I did it at the
takes
same
like-
time and I beat you. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
same principle. So there is that. There are like I mentioned before, there are like alternate win cons. People can win the games in all kinds of different ways. Like say your opponent can't solve for the puzzle character. If your opponent fails to solve the puzzle, they lose the game.
Who
Yeah.
is?
So good.
Can I play as a Ganondorf-like character in your game?
Define what that means, because I don't play Smash.
Dude, don't listen to
I'm
this
big,
man. He
I'm
doesn't know what he's
brawly, and I
talking
punch
about.
you hard.
Yes.
So, powerhouse,
Yeah, there are
kinda
very heavy
kinda like
brawler grappler characters in this game.
Can I
kinda
play
like
as
Kuma
a waifu
from
character?
Street Fighter.
There's plenty of
Kinda
that.
like
Get out of here. Next
All
question.
right. I'm sold.
Can I
How much is the game? I'll pay it.
can I play as Cammy?
No, you can't play as Cammy.
When can I play it? When is this game gonna be on the
How do I
shelves?
get my hands on it? Yeah, that's
Well, okay. So that's kind of going back and forth topic. The aim is for March of next year.
Okay.
But there's a lot of testing that needs to be done between now and then.
Mhm.
I actually need to have a block of characters finished, because in the first box of the game, or the core box of the game, we're actually doing a dual release. So we're doing a release with physical product, and then we're also doing a release in digital. The physical product will come with all the cards in the game, so there's like no collecting. It's literally just get everything, and you get everything in the maximum amounts, which is 3 of. So you get everything as a 3 of in the package. That will break down to about $50 for the box, but you get literally all the characters, so that's like 16 characters plus all of the cards. And then for the digital game, when you buy that will be $20, and you'll get all of the cards and characters in there as well. But in the digital game, like, there's other things you can buy too. Like, you can buy like animated versions of cards. You can buy like random stuff for your characters if you want to do that. Like, there's all kinds of different things, but the gameplay is the same. There will be digital only characters, and then there'll also be physical only characters that will be released later dates for like for each one. So like the characters that are in the digital game will eventually be released in the physical game, and vice versa. Will you allow custom mods? I'm not allowing people to add things to the game, if that's what you mean. But you can. There'll be things in the game that you can specifically unlock to customize your character, but I'm not allowing people to just throw stuff into the game or anything like that. Like, it won't be, like, I'm not trying to knock side games by saying this, but like, it won't be very easy for people to be like, well, I'm just going to add these mods of this character into the game. It won't be that easy for them.
Will there be a?
Alright, so how much would I have to pay you to get my mod in the game?
You couldn't pay me enough. It's just too many. Like, I'm a huge stickler for security on stuff, even though, like, when it comes to games, you really shouldn't be too secure in that regard. Like, you don't want people hacking the game and stuff like that. But yeah, there will be a free to play variation of the game, and however, it doesn't work the way that, say, Shadowverse works, where you can grind out and this and another. You can try the game without buying it. There'll be a new character that's available every day, but you would only have access to that one character for the day. Okay. So you could technically play the game in whatever way you want it, but you would only have access to that one character. You also wouldn't have access to deck building either, so you'd be stuck with just the pre-built. Yeah. So to how the decks work is you have a minimum of 45 cards and a maximum of 60. There's a reason for that. There are characters that force you to discard a lot of cards and use effects and stuff. So you're going to want the cards. The way that the turns work out are like this in terms of drawing cards. You always draw up to your maximum hand size at the beginning of your turn. So you will always, let's say your maximum hand size is 6, you will always be able to draw up to 6 cards at the beginning of the turn. And at the end of your turn, you can discard any number of cards you don't want, and then you can, at the beginning of your turn, draw back up. So you can just get rid of cards that are like bad in the matchup that you're in, and just redraw. So
it sounds like your game pulls a lot of different mechanics from like a whole lot of other games.
It does.
It really fits a lot of them in.
It does. I've actually been developing this game for 3 years now. I've gone through at least 23 iterations of this game.
Wow.
A lot of iterations.
That is a lot of iterations. The last one I did was actually really good, but I got rid of it because it wasn't unique enough. It just didn't. it didn't feel like I was playing a different game. And then when I developed this specific system, I had help with a guy that I worked with on his games. When I developed this specific system, I was like, you know what? This is the one I'm going with, and that's it. So I said, no, I mean, if I want a character to look some way in my, I don't understand your question. Like, I don't understand your question.
I think it means like Shadowverse says the summer mod. I think that's what it means to change his aesthetics. Not.
Oh, well, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you
that's
can
what
change the
it-
aesthetics in game. Yeah, for sure.
for
That's
you.
actually what. See, the thing is, I don't care about any of that customization stuff. I just want to play the game, you know.
Mhm.
But I know that people
Yeah.
like that, and
Oh, people
As a
love their
designer-
cosmetics. They eat that up.
Right.
Customization. I saw actually. I don't know what. A TED. It's not a TED talk. It's something like that. A game designer speaking of allowing your player to put himself on the game is very
Right.
important.
it's
They'll-
very
they'll
important.
connect. They'll attach to the game and they'll
It
last.
just
longer
allows for
because
more
of that.
immersion.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
if I had to play Rowan all the time, I'd drop Dragoncraft like this. Are you kidding me? There's no way I'm playing that big clown.
You take
Right.
that back.
I still
Yeah,
do.
no, I'm
man.
not taking it back.
I still do. I like
Well,
Rowan.
there's actually multiple modes that this game can be played in. There is a team mode where 4 players can play. It'd be 2-on-2, and you can play like that. There is a tag mode where 2 characters share the same deck, and you can build your deck around the 2 characters. You cannot use cards of a different character in a character's deck. But
Kind of like
in
classes in
the
Shadowverse.
right, however, in the tag mode, you are able to do that.
Nice.
You can do that, but there is a penalty to it. Your maximum hand size is reduced by 1, or your reserve size is reduced by 1, which is very significant. So technically, you could play a single character, and I could play a tag team. I would have more options, but I would have less cards. So that's actually very, very significant. Also, both characters share health, so like it's not like there's a universal health total when you're
Yeah.
tagged.
Kind of
versus-
like,
yeah.
two-headed, right? The two-headed.
Right, exactly, very much like 2-headed. So it actually
That's
kind of
Very fun, actually. I really enjoy
Ne-
because a lot of that's what Shadowverse kind of lacks. Because people sometimes like to play 2v2, like 4v4, like
Right.
different modes, just to have.
well,
Fun.
the thing is, it would be hard for them to do that with a mobile game.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
right.
My game is going straight to Steam. There will eventually be a mobile variation released later that will allow people to play with other people who are playing on Steam and all that, like just almost like Shadowverse has.
Mhm.
But I'm going straight to Steam because there are features in the game that I want to be able to have people play on PC.
Yes.
Again, like the team modes. I
Especially
want to
tag,
be able
yeah,
to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. You gotta
You know.
have like connection needs to be stable. You also make like a. You also need to make people like join some sort of Discord to communicate and stuff.
Right.
Like that, so,
Or-
yeah.
The thing is,
Well,
the game will
balance.
have in-game chat and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you
Well, I
going to,
have to have censorship. I have to. Like, I
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah.
it's by law that I have to have it. So I can't get around that. Is that I have to?
Don't release it on Steam.
I mean, I could release it as its own thing, but there will be in-game dumb censorship. I don't understand what that means. Like, dumb censorship. I didn't know that it had an
He's
intelligence.
got to follow the laws. I mean, you can look up the laws.
I have to follow the law. Like, I can't be like, you know what, man?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what it
either
is.
that-
We're just gonna put naked ladies in here.
is there going to
Yeah.
be like a sandbox mode for your game where I'm going to be allowed to say like screw the rules, I'm going to make a deck with all the cards from all the different classes?
There are ways you can do that in the story mode, but there won't be any way like to do that in
Oh, so
actual
there's
gameplay.
There's a story mode. Okay.
Yes. So the game is actually very heavily based around the story. And you can unlock specific... You'll have access to like the character's base cards, all the time, but there are story-specific cards that you can unlock by just playing through the story.
That is a very good idea because it gives you the sense of when you told me I would be able to get all the cards. I'm a very passionate gamer and I love the sense of accomplishment of slowly building progress, right? Game progress.
Yeah.
So
this
that's
is
a good idea.
So the way that this ends up working out is that the physical game will end up having the story cards as a separate expansion, whereas in the digital game they will just be in the story. So you'll be able to unlock like different characters in the story. You'll be able to but again, in order to unlock anyone, you'd have to actually buy the game to do that. But you could play through a bit of the story just to get a feel for it. But once you get past like the beginning part, you have to buy the game to be able to do it. But again, I keep the price point really low at only $20 for people to basically unlock a full 16 roster character, 16, and then there's additional characters on top of that you unlock as well. So the game is broken down into like hierarchies of characters. There's like very beginner basic characters, and then like the characters like the alternate wing cons are like master characters that are really difficult to play.
You'll need time to figure that out.
Yeah, because they'll feel really bad. That's actually something that we've experienced, like when me and Exo play, or when I play with other people and I show them how the game works. They'll go, "Man, this character sucks." I'm like, "Actually, they don't. It's just that you don't know how they work yet."
Yeah.
And then after I play against them with that character, like, "Man, that character's broken." I'm like,
overpowered.
But you also don't know how to play against it.
Right, you don't know how to play against it either. But I made sure that I made a card that beats every strategy in the game.
And you made them playable cards?
Yes, they're very playable. The thing is, I did not. The thing is, because I'm not making like a game. There's RNG where it's like, okay, well, we have to do X, or these cards. There just has to be a certain number of filler cards. There are no filler cards in this game. Every card has been designed to be playable. It's just dependent on your deck building. So you don't have to worry about, oh, well, I got this bunch of cards, but I can't use them. Like, we go through every time, like, I test the game, I end up playing every single card, and I might not play them in that matchup, so I can, okay, this matchup sucks, I'll discard those cards, I don't want to play them, and I'll just draw.
That is something I really enjoy when you talk about it, because it kind of sounds like a sideboard system within the game, right?
Yeah, it is.
To discard. So, do I have access to the discard mechanic every turn? Can I discard?
Every single turn. You can just discard whatever cards you don't want, but like, you know what, man, this
that makes
sucks.
Games interesting, right? Besides having tech choices, sometimes tech choices don't work on that matchup, so you can throw them away. I like that.
Have you ever played Soulforge?
I am very familiar with the game. I have played it, and I hated it.
You hated it. That mechanic sounds. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember Soulforge had the mechanic where
they had a very similar mechanic.
Yeah.
They had a very similar mechanic.
I enjoyed that game. I thought that was a pretty cool game, but it didn't look too clean.
No, that was actually my problem with it. The presentation of the game, while in some ways great, in many other ways it wasn't. But I'm not gonna go into that. There's no RNG involved. There's no RNG in terms of the cards you get. Like when new sets come out, because there will be new sets, of course. When new sets come out, you can buy the new set for just $5, and you get all the cards and triplicate of those.
But I think he's asking, like, is there going to be RNG, like, with your Prime Dragon Keepers having a 50% or a 20% chance of hitting the card you're trying to hit?
Yeah, or draw.
Oh, no, there's nothing like that. No, there's nothing like that.
I think the only RNG is, like, card draw.
Is your draw.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, there is no card... There's nothing like what's in Shadowverse, like, or even Hearthstone, where it's like, okay, random effect X.
So no Pilot Atreides.
Yeah. So we're on the Shadowverse community. I have an art question. Are you concerned about the art? Are you making an effort to make the art of your game pleasable? I think that's how you say it.
Well,
so
okay.
What can we expect from the art?
Well, I mean, if you go into my Discord and you look into the images section, you can actually see the art. In my IO Game Workshop area, you can actually see the art for the game, and you can judge that for yourself. My art team is really good, and I think that they do an excellent job. I have not heard any complaints about the art. If people have them, I don't know. You mean draw RNG, like praying for rep? No, there's nothing like that. Like basically, the game is where if yeah, I'm a game designer. That's my job. um, but the
Oh
game
man,
is
those are nice arts.
if
Yeah,
you
I saw two cards. I really
I'm looking at some of this art now. It's pretty
didn't
nice.
see the other ones.
if you
Yeah.
play badly, you deserve to lose. That's the way the game works. You know, you play bad, you're garbage, you lose.
That's how I like my games work.
That's something I
Punish
really
me for
like.
being bad.
Like in
Yeah,
games
you're punished very heavily for being bad at my game.
That's
Like,
the kind of
yeah.
feel good
Like,
punish. That's the kind of feel good
games
punish.
like Gwent, you see like 90% of your deck in every game, and I really like that because it's like choices. You see,
Yeah.
you have all the hand, you can draw a lot, so you have all the choices, you have all the deck at your disposal, and I really like that. You can form a game plan and just it's up to execution, right? Whoever
Yeah.
executes the most will probably win. Always,
Alright.
obviously, there's always an RNG with opening hands and the cards
Right.
you draw on specific turns, but you can never fight that. That's the fun of card games.
Mhm.
If everything was set, we'd be playing chess, not card
Right.
games, right?
Exactly.
All right, one last question from me though is, can I get animated cards?
Yes. Well, you can get them in the digital game. Obviously, you can't get an animated physical.
Cannot
but
be a
Alright,
whale.
I'm sold.
there will be hollow cards. So okay. So the way the hollow cards work out is, excuse me, for the Kickstarter, people will be able to get, or people are allowed to play cards in my game. There are characters that prevent people from playing cards in my game. I'm not kidding. There are definitely characters that prevent people from playing cards.
Got your good old silence effects.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of that. There's plenty of that. There's like, oh, that card doesn't do anything.
That's
But just
pretty
not
cool.
fair.
I'm
I know.
looking forward to this. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, I want to play. I was trying to see the best time zone. I'm definitely gonna try to play test it as soon as like things slow down and I figure out a schedule to actually work and play Shadowverse and play test and do all the things. So I'm really excited for the game.
Yeah,
Is
it's
playtesting still open or no?
yeah, it's still open. We were actually doing it today. I'm actually looking tomorrow.
I'm
looking to do it tomorrow.
I might be free for that tomorrow. I might want to do that.
Tej,
Do I
yeah,
sign up?
Tej,
Do I sign up in playtesting application?
Yes, you do.
Alright.
Yeah, we should actually tell people. So if you wanna sign up for playtesting, can they do that?
Yeah,
Are you-
they can.
Yeah,
If anybody wants to
Join
sign up for playtesting,
the
they can go to
Discord.
my Discord.
yeah.
That's the
I
Shadow
guess
Nexus Discord.
Yes, the Shadow Nexus Discord. Down at the bottom, you'll see Aya's Game Workshop, and then there's a playtesting application area. You can apply in there to playtest. And I would love to have more and more playtesters
Link the-
for the game because I need as much feedback as I can get. One of the things that I want to make the game is, simple. It's a simple game, but it's one of those like easy to learn, hard to master kind of things. And I'm even still learning stuff about the game, even though I designed it.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
that's
game
actually my
designers-
favorite thing about that.
A lot of game designers say that when they give their game to players, they will be surprised because players are very, they're very crafty with the cards and the decks.
Yeah, I want people to break the game. That's always what I want. I want people like, man, this is busted. You know.
You guys missed this.
That's exactly what I want to do. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So you better believe, like at HSK, we play Cockatrice with Magic, Shadowverse, play Bridge.
I'm
We're
teaching
trying
them
to
bridge.
get-
I'm teaching them bridge now.
on HSK. So
To play.
we're very excited to play our card game because we just love card games.
Oh yeah.
Poker,
Sweet.
we were trying to set up a poker game as well.
Oh, my
Wait,
days.
when did we
We
try
were
to play
fat.
poker? I want to play poker.
I want to play.
Yeah.
I'll play some. Well, I
We were
better
talking
not
about
actually.
that. I don't like. I don't like gambling with my money.
We just need to bet vials. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, guys. So
Alrighty.
we're almost at an hour 20. I've let this go on a little bit extra than we usually do. This has been a really fun cast. I want to thank Aya a lot for coming on. I want to thank
Thanks for
Shadow
having
Nexus
me.
for being
Yeah.
awesome in general. Does anyone else have any shout outs they want to say?
just thank you, Aya, for being so awesome, for helping us tonight, and for telling us
course.
about your game.
Well,
It's
I
really
mean,
fun.
I always like to talk about it whenever it comes up, so I appreciate the ability to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So thanks for having me.
And maybe when we get closer to the release of the game, we might have to have you on again.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be working on it. I work on it now, even with all the stuff I do for Shadowverse and stuff like that. So I work on it basically all the time. So I'm trying to get to that date closer and closer and closer, and so I look forward to seeing how it goes. But again, if anybody's interested in playtesting, definitely hit up my Discord and let me know so we can get you in for some playtesting.
I wanted to say one more shout out to the Hallowed Sky Twitter. Go and follow us on there.
You want to give it to them so they can actually see it?
I'm doing that right now as we speak. Actually.
Okay.
Hey, do I get a shout out section?
Yeah, if anyone has any shout outs, now's the time for them.
I just want to say shout out to my boy HSK Dominus, hashtag free Dominus. NGE, you got to start letting South American people in here because he's the best player on our team. Let him in. Don't mess everyone up.
Unshackle the beast.
Unshackle
the
him.
beast. I'm afraid when Dominus gets set free, I'm
Dominus
I'm
is
glad
just
I'm
going to go on a
The number one
rampage.
EU player, the number one NGE EU player is scared.
yeah.
Free my boy. Alright, that's all I wanted to say.
Any last shout outs, guys?
No.
No.
Just see you on Friday, guys.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Alright, yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Thank you for watching. And have a good week, everyone. Bye.